Malaysia juga menghadapi cabaran yang agak getir. Kadar pengangguran di Malaysia adalah di paras 3.9%.
So, isu yang tak settle-settle di Malaysia lagi adalah pengangguran.
Pengangguran meningkat kepada 5.0% pada bulan April 2020.
Mustahil ke kalau kita nak lahirkan usahawan sebenar melalui pendidikan tinggi?
Kalau kita tengok artikel tentang situasi di Malaysia, ada 200,000 graduan yang tak ada kerja.
Disebabkan teknologi yang berubah, perubahan ekonomi, perubahan pemikiran generasi baru, education yang dulu tu mungkin tidak lagi bersesuaian.
Dan mengikut anjuran Jabatan Perangkaan Malaysia pada 14 Mei 2020, kadar pengangguran dijangka akan meningkat.
A marriage, perkahwinan antara traditional learning and kemahiran. Welcome to the revolution.
Good morning. Hey, Mizan, good to see you. Sufi, Zati. Wow, today we're going to talk about part 4 of about dealing with anxiety. Today, because of some responses, after the FB Live, people PM me and asked me some questions, so I thought I'll address it. And I didn't answer them directly there because I thought it would be good that it would be addressed live as well. Now, the thing here is this. The first 3 days, we talked about what is anxiety, how do we manage it for ourselves. Then after that, yesterday, we talked about talking about managing our thoughts, managing our action, because the second day, I talked about how it cripples you, what are the symptoms of anxiety, right? Being in the fetal position, and then we talk about getting out, taking action. That's the main antidote, all right? Hey, Farah, good morning to you. The thing here is this. That is that if you are doing it for yourself. And the biggest problem I find in the society is that sometimes we do not know that we are going through this anxiety problem. And it's only the people around us that notices it. And what I'm trying to share with you today is really what can you do when you see your friend or your loved one going through anxiety. How can you help them? Now, I've always find that sometimes what we are saying is that a good intent may not be the best intent, right? A good intent may not be the best or right intent. Now, what you guys say like, I want to help people, but you mean it's not good? Hey, Safwan, good morning. Yeah, because ultimately, you need to first understand people need to be able to wallow in their sorrows for a while. What do I mean by this? Let's say if somebody comes up to me or somebody I'm coaching and he comes up to me and says, Adrian, I'm really worried. I'm really scared. Do I immediately go, what are you scared about? And then he tells you the problem. And then you say, what's wrong with that? That doesn't help with anxiety. All right, hey Farah. So what we are saying is, whenever you're talking to a person who is going through anxiety problem, or you notice that the person has got anxiety challenges, the main thing that we have to do as a friend or a comfort is to bite our tongue. What I mean by bite our tongue, not literally bite your tongue, but literally not say anything, because you do not know what's going through in the person's mind. All right, you wouldn't know what's going through the person's mind, what causes it. Yesterday we talked about trigger points. We talked about generalizing what was the main trigger point. Yeah, we won't know it. As a third party, we do not know it. So the key here is, number one, we need to learn how to sympathize with the person. Now, you cannot empathize yet because you do not know what causes it, but sympathize about the person. So the first thing I would normally do if I get a person that comes up to me and say, Adrian, I'm really worried, this is the situation, yada, 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 then I'll like, okay. Then I will start going back to ask them, so what does it mean to you? You know, let's say if you make it, or if this problem really happened, what does it mean? And let the person speak. As the person speaks out, what you want to try to find out here is this. What is the root cause of the anxiety? You see, one of the ways that I've shared on Tuesday, I believe, is that in the event that you are going through an anxiety attack or a panic attack, yes, you can sit down and lie back and focus on one spot and totally relax, or basically knowingly that you are going through that problem, snap out it, jump out of a chair, shift your focus to something else, shift your focus to the feeling of gratefulness, etc. That helps, but it's a temporal relief. You need to know one thing. Anxiety is just a fruit that can be seen by the external world. So what we are saying is that if you want to address the fruits, you need to first look at the roots. Because whatever you've been feeding it throughout the years or how it's been planted is the one that is going to cause the person to have that problem. Most anxiety problem, I notice whenever I deal with some other clients, is that when I trace back into their early childhood, when I trace back to their upbringing, these are normally the main cause of anxiety. Because what happened, if you ever remember the first ever Facebook Live that I ever did, if you had a chance, if not, please go back and look it up. It's the very, very first one, most probably on 1st of March. I talked about the main thing is your identity. And most of the time, people go through the whole concept of anxiety is because that they feel that when they do not achieve certain things, their identity is at stake. That means they are not worthy, they are worthless. They make different meanings for themselves, and ultimately they don't have a sense of belonging anymore, because what they're gonna feel is that they're gonna feel that the world doesn't love them. They feel alone, they feel very challenged, and ultimately their mind is boggling. So therefore, what's going to happen is, if you think about the situation again, because this person has so much hurt within them, right? Good morning, Fatin. Right? They got so much hurt within them, and they feel a sense of not worthiness or lack of identity. And when they go out, all right, when they go out to do things, all right, so what they normally do is, when the person is very empty, like an empty vessel within themselves, the more emptier they are, they try to achieve more. All right, they try to achieve more in life to prove their true identity. But the thing here is because of the emptiness within themselves, the hollowness within themselves, when they try to achieve, these people are the most highly motivated people, or the other way around, right, to achieve something. So they are trying to go, roaring to go, right? I need to achieve, I need to achieve, I need to. And bam, what happened? Suddenly things happen that we cannot control. MCO kicked in. Today is the first day of MCO for Selangor. All right, tomorrow is at Wilayah, so I'm based at Wilayah. Today is still my last day of going out to buy groceries, etc. But never mind. But what happens is, what I realized is that, let's say if I'm that person, all my meetings had been cancelled. All my potential closures, I'm supposed to go out and close the deal tomorrow, and it's like 99% confirmed. Okay, but now because of the MCO has kicked in, it got postponed. So let's say if I'm that person, how would I feel? Say, alamak, finally I got one case that I can actually close. But now what happened? That means I don't achieve again. And will the person that has anxiety feel that moment of fear? The answer is yes, because that is the first case. And we know that MCOs can be prolonged. I mean, we started in 18 March last year, and we have been on MCO, CMCO, RMCO, whatever it is for the longest time. So what happens with these type of people is that they automatically get that fear. What if I plan? Is there a point for me to plan? And these thoughts goes through their mind. So let's say if you're a friend dealing with people who are going through anxiety, remember the first step is sometimes it's best not to talk, because these people, what we were sharing is that the bigger the grief or the bigger the anxiety, the lesser we will need to talk. All that the person wants to do, hey, morning, Jenha. All right, the only thing that the person wants is really you being there to listen to him or her. And as normally when I deal with coaching times is I'll sit down, okay, I'll sit there and say, well, whenever you're ready, I'd like to hear more from you. And just be silent and wait. And thoroughly and honestly care about the person. One tip is do not ever touch the person. I mean, I know there's some traditions where the guys like to, all right, buddy, you're fine. The ladies will hug each other. Hey, Hamisa, morning to you. So why we are not doing that is because if you remember one of the sessions, or I'll repeat it later on, is that there's something called anchoring. You can be anchored with something, what you see, what you hear, what you feel. So the idea is we do not want to attach you as a friend to that person going through that problem, to feel that problem whenever they see you. You're supposed to be the friend, you're supposed to be the comforter, but not the one that creates the anxiety. So let them pour out. Okay, next time is let them pour out this and ask them, how does it affect you in terms of your identity? Then ask them, how was your childhood? You know, what make you feel like that? Is there something that whose love do you want more from when you were a kid? Is it your father and your mother? They will tell you something like, well, I prefer my father, I prefer my mother. Then the next question we normally ask is, how do you gain the love of your father and mother? Now, that is the very, very crucial point. All right. And that particular crucial point will lead us to how do you break down the next area for you to truly understand the very, very root cause of this person having the anxiety. All right, the anxiety is up here. What you can see is like the iceberg theory, where you can see all the iceberg, but actually at the bottom of the iceberg, you want to go to that root. And tomorrow we're going to come back and to break it down for you as to see how you can then break it down to help that person look at the very core problem to thoroughly remove anxiety problems once and for all. Because anxiety, if it's going to be self-help, you'll generally look at in terms of your diet, which we covered yesterday. We talked about the caffeine level increases your heart rate. You talk about it's good to have green tea. All right, so but watch the amount of tannin. All right, celery juice will help in terms of calming yourself down. Sugar is very, very important. Do not eat too much sugar, especially raw sugar. Raw carbohydrates, I mean, basic carbos is one thing that is very dangerous as well because it gives you sugar spikes. Okay, so, and always have a journal and always shift your focus. But the key is we need to get to the root cause. And tomorrow we're going to cover about handling root cause problems. And once you address the root cause, you will be able to get it over with. So if there's anything, please put your comments, PM us, whatever it is. I'll be more than happy to share them. So till tomorrow, have a great day and goodbye.
Malaysia juga menghadapi cabaran yang agak getir. Kadar pengangguran di Malaysia adalah di paras 3.9%.
So, isu yang tak settle-settle di Malaysia lagi adalah pengangguran.
Pengangguran meningkat kepada 5.0% pada bulan April 2020.
Mustahil ke kalau kita nak lahirkan usahawan sebenar melalui pendidikan tinggi?
Kalau kita tengok artikel tentang situasi di Malaysia, ada 200,000 graduan yang tak ada kerja.
Disebabkan teknologi yang berubah, perubahan ekonomi, perubahan pemikiran generasi baru, education yang dulu tu mungkin tidak lagi bersesuaian.
Dan mengikut anjuran Jabatan Perangkaan Malaysia pada 14 Mei 2020, kadar pengangguran dijangka akan meningkat.
A marriage perkawinan antara traditional learning and kemahiran. Welcome to the revolution.